Put the fries in the bag.
Stand my country before I deport you.
Go, run! Run!
You put the fries in the bag. I'm gonna kick your butt! That was so good.
I feel like it's time for our monthly checkup on Josh. Originally, when I covered World of T-shirts, it was a situation where, oh look, that guy's getting really drunk, Lamau, that's hilarious. But now, as time has gone on, the situation has just become more and more sad. Like, people are getting more and more concerned for him. And it seems right now he has two choices. The light choice is to get some actual help or maybe some kind of intervention. And the dark path is to keep doing what he's doing and just fall deeper and deeper into alcoholism. But if you don't know who Joshua Block is, basically he has become TikTok's obsession for the past couple of months, probably the best part of a year or so. So obviously the way the internet works, everything is supercharged, right? You know, memes come and they die within the space of like a day. Hock to a girl, hock who a girl?
Respect.
You know, there's so many memes that come out now that basically it's natural selection that like 2 or 3 of them actually survive and continue to, you know, do anything else. But Josh, as many people may know, likes to drink, and his entire bit is basically getting drunk every single day, filming himself around New York City, getting into altercations, to the point now, which I've said before, people have dedicated accounts tracking how much Josh drinks every single day, how much it eats into his finances, how many calories he's intaking, and also his blood alcohol level, which hits very worrying levels each video. I think I saw a video recently and he hit basically a new PR, which is not a personal record that you want to celebrate about.
Down at 40s.
Warning. Captain's definitely hitting a PR today. It all starts at 3 p.m. with a tall tweet. That's going to be 2 standard drinks, $5, and 400 calories. It's 4 p.m. and the captain has a vodka cranberry for 1.5 standard drinks. And of course, the only logical thing to do after that is to have a Jaeger bomb for another standard drink. In total, 2.5 standard drinks, $24, and 310 calories.
And again, one of the situations with Josh that's really sad is like he doesn't really seem to have any family. His mother passed away when he was incredibly young, and this is actually something that I remember seeing on stream once. The only thing we seem to really know at the minute is Josh still has a grandfather that's alive, and he would basically live with him until he moved down into New York, living from like hotel to hotel. But again, because Josh is obviously someone who has some kind of learning disability, I already talked about how he had one scummy manager called Michael Quinn, but recently he's found himself with Mr. Based. That's his real name, by the way. It is Mr. Based. I'm not doing a bit. But yeah, Mr. Based has somehow made Michael Quinn look like an absolute saint. So in the last Joshua Block update, I talked about how his manager, Mr. Based, was apparently handing himself into the police. The context behind that is because Josh has so much notoriety now, a lot of people want to get involved and do documentaries or stage interventions, and one of those people was Alex Novell, and he did like a series on his YouTube channel talking about Joshua Block living with, you know, alcoholism and autism, and then he basically wanted to confront Mr. Based in public. This led to Alex, you know, having really bad injuries on his face, and obviously it seemed like a fight, and Mr. Based was gonna, you know, hand himself into police.
So I want to shout out my main man, Josh Block, World of T-shirts. I went through a lot the past couple days. I had Keemstar's lynch mobs coming after me, banging on my windows for like 5, 6, 7 hours a night. Josh and I were camped out in my bedroom, chilling out while people were banging on the windows, going crazy. My lawyer negotiated for me to surrender myself for those bullshit fake charges that Alex did when he was squeezing my trachea. He didn't have me in a headlock. He was squeezing my trachea.
Surprisingly, shortly after that video went out, Mr. Based actually posted a video of him and Josh just eating caviar. So apparently that was just engagement bait.
I'm making a video of me just to cover up that I'm busy.
Okay.
Not a live stream, a video. Tell them you're monitoring me?
Monitoring him
The whole time?
the whole time.
So after this situation, and there were many altercations, Josh basically started traveling the world again. He went to San Francisco, Bermuda, even going to Spain himself. And prior to his trip in Spain, he actually managed to get a new tattoo. If you know, he's already got some tattoos. I think he got a martini glass at one point, but this one was to honor his sailing pride. And then if you look at the tattoo as well, it's got the same phrase, which matches the song name that he made, 1700 somewhere. Now, the funny thing is about Josh, he seems to be a little bit of a music artist at the minute. So originally he made that song 1700 somewhere, but then afterwards he made another song and it's called Forever Drunk, which is, I'll be honest, probably not the best name for someone that's suffering with alcoholism.
Forever drunk. I want to be forever drunk.
But you know what? I can look past that. Maybe now he's a changed person and things are getting better for him. Right? Right? I mean, you're watching a PyroLive video, so yeah, we kind of know how it ends. So since the last video I covered talking about Josh, he's became a lot more aggressive, as well as spewing out some pretty hurtful and insensitive things. And to a lot of people on the internet, he's earned the title of being a massive lol cow. But again, in a lot of the clips I'm going to show throughout the video, he just seems incredibly distressed. And it's really hard to discern whether this is actual stress that he's experiencing, or he's playing it up, hamming it up a little bit, almost like being a bit of a rage baiter, something which Mr. Based might have told him to do. Now, one viral laugh out loud hilarious meme going around with Joshua Block at the minute is,
Put the fries in the bag.
if you haven't seen it, it's basically Josh just going around saying put the fries in the bag, implying that he makes so much money that the average wagey that will never leave their cage could never attain to such a level that Josh has. And the worst thing about this as well, like, you could say that this is like a Josh ego thing, it's gone to his head, but no, it's something orchestrated by Mr. Based, purposely implemented as rage bait content, because he has it in his head, and he's actually quite smart with this, to be fair. He realizes a lot of people hate Josh. Let's just capitalize on that and make him out to be the most villainous person imaginable, so I get more clicks and I get more views. Because if you don't know, Mr. Based and Josh stream a lot together, and on those streams, it's the saddest content imaginable. It's just Josh being verbally harassed by chat constantly. I mean, I stream, right? And I have like a TTS setup where people roast me and stuff, so they're gonna like pee my mouth or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna roll with it. I'll do a little bit of a React Andy. I'll get the clips, sure. I mean, it's kind of mutual. You laugh, I get money from it, and then I get to turn it into a clip.
Yes, please continue.
Yep.
I am almost there. Almost pyro.
Did you have to use the old lady voice for that? You could have used any voice. But with Josh, he's obviously not comfortable with any of these donos, and they will never be turned off because it's making Mr. Based thousands of dollars per stream. So Mr. Based had this hilarious idea of getting Josh to say to a McDonald's employee, put the fries in the bag. But the situation is just really awkward. You can tell that like the employee and Josh just aren't listening to his instructions at all. You know, he probably had it in his head. This is going to be hilarious. It's going to get like 20 million views. And then it just ends up becoming just cringe. But eventually later down the road, Josh actually pulls out his phone and says, you know, put the fries in the bag, which leads to a bunch of people booing at him in the restaurant.
Put the fries in the bag.
Now, I do want to say this is a possible schizo theory. I have no proof of this. Oh, I just did the Mr. Beast hands again. That sucks. Why am I doing that so much? I'm not actually sure whether there were people booing in the background or they were edited in post to almost make Joshua look even worse, because again, that's more clout for Mr. Based. I don't know. That's a little bit of a schizo theory. Then a couple of weeks later, when he's streaming with Mr. Based, a random woman actually spots Josh on the street and says, put the fries in the bag. He shouts at her, chases her down the street, calls her a bitch. And this clip actually went super viral for a long period of time because again, it was like kind of people that didn't like Josh were then clowning on him.
Gosh, put the fries in the fucking bag.
You put the fries in the bag. I'm gonna kick your butt!
She wants your hat sent $10. That's Dom Barnett's sister.
Never say that to me again, bitch.
Will Browning just subscribed on YouTube.
He told me to put the fries in the bag.
Clarissa got a...
This is a little side tangent, by the way, but I have noticed that there have been some very good Samaritans. There have been people that have, you know, seen Josh in public and they've tried to stage a little bit of a soft intervention. I saw this one clip on TikTok, and this woman was like really respectful, really nice, even saying to Josh, you know, you don't have to stop drinking entirely, maybe just, you know, kind of cut back a little bit. And then Josh tries to take the information, and then he just walks off like an NPC after skipping all the dialogue after getting a quest. Like, genuinely, no bit. He walks away from this woman, like, when mid-conversation is happening. Now, as another little bit of a side quest here, talking more about the Joshua Block stuff, there's been this TikTok edit that's been doing numbers about the Minecraft movie trailer and Joshua Block. If you don't know, when Josh streams with Mr. Based and Mr. Based doesn't like something that's happening, thinking the stream could get pulled, he says the word Minecraft.
Minecraft movie executives versus real gamers.
Stop making fun of me. In real life, Minecraft! In real life, Minecraft! In real life, I can't fucking take this shit anymore.
Minecraft.
In real life, I can't fucking take this shit anymore. I live paycheck to fucking paycheck.
Minecraft.
In real life, I've only been to 7
biomes.
Minecraft is basically the safe word, as in like, okay, maybe stop doing that. That's a little bit cringe. Let's stop this now. I'm not going to make $5,000 of someone who's learning disabled. But then someone tried to turn it into talking about the Minecraft film and then Josh's mental breakdown. It's a very weird situation with Josh because I know that there's a lot of people out there that want him to get better. They want him to stop drinking. I'm one of those people. I would love it if he was able to turn his life around. But then as well, there's a lot of people that want to see him, you know, kind of fail. And I think one of the reasons behind that is a lot of people watch content as a form of escapism. You know, you could watch a film, you could watch a TV show, you could watch a YouTuber do a narrated playthrough of a video game that adds no substance, like for example the Darkwood video I recently put out. But yeah, a lot of people like escapism, and I feel like people gravitate towards Joshua because it is like, oh, my life sucks, I got fired today, I can barely make rent, this sucks. But wait a minute, I'm not Joshua Block going around screaming at 3 in the morning at random people and threatening to get stabbed. It's just that classic tale, like as old as time, about like how people need to find some form of escapism. And unfortunately, a lot of people are doing that through Josh. And it was around this time as well where Josh was traveling around the world during his, I guess, like quote unquote break. When he came back, he was very anti-American pilled. Now, Josh has always had like bad things to say about America, but this time it sounded very charged.
Somebody was threatening me on the street in New York City. I just want to leave America and never come back. But I don't know how.
So there was that one, and then this one as well. America isn't safe. I get beaten, harassed, robbed 10 times. I can't afford a lawyer to sue most countries, have pro bono representation, and universal healthcare. I don't have the luxury of dealing with this when I work on the front lines 7 days a week. I wish I could live in Bermuda permanently. So this is where he starts this arc of basically saying that, you know, homeless people are scum. They don't really do anything. They lounge around. Meanwhile, he is constantly working every single day to put out content. Now, I'm not sure where he got the term front lines from, because that's usually used to describe someone that works, for example, in healthcare or, you know, essential workers. You know, that was a term literally used by people on the front lines during the pandemic at lockdown. He also mentions in some of these weird ramblings as well that he makes $5,000 a month, as well as living paycheck to paycheck.
So, I work 7 days a week. I work my butt off. And I only make $5,000 a month. You know how poor I am? I live paycheck to paycheck, yet these homeless people can just lounge around and get free money. I make my money fair and square. Unacceptable.
And when you hear that, it's like, okay, like New York rent is an actual bit with how bad it is. I think the only place worse is probably like Canada or New Zealand. Like, yeah, like rent is pretty bad. Property is comedically expensive. But then at the same time, he undoes all of that goodwill by basically bragging on TikTok that you work a 9 to 5. So by doing this, he's alienating both sides. Like the average wagey that works a 9 to 5, you know, like they're gonna end up hating him because of this. Because of the job that I work in myself, I'm incredibly privileged and I can kind of look past it. But again, the average person that works a 9 to 5 and then sees something like this, it's just gonna make them absolutely despise Joshua. There was also another clip going around where Josh was basically having a conversation with what I believe to be a homeless guy. It was like some guys sat on the end of the street, and Josh is talking down to this guy constantly, bigging himself up. And what a lot of people in the comments pointed out, this could really be Josh if he doesn't sort his life out.
What do you want to tell the world, young man?
He's homeless.
I'll give you money. What do you want to tell the world?
Give him some money. Just give him $1 or something.
I'm gonna give him money. But I want him to say something. That's all.
Come on, I have a career. I'm successful.
What you do? Listen, I'm motherfucker doing big time job.
I fucking hate you.
What?
I hate you either.
I work and make money fair and square, and you just sit down and lounge.
Look at this
and beg.
Josh, you're not being fair to this guy.
Homelessness should be a crime.
And then on top of that as well, Josh seems to have a new bit. Originally, he would keep screaming to people when he was drunk that he's from Brownsville, but now apparently he's from the Bronx.
Why does being from the Bronx make you better than Dom Bartucci?
Because the Bronx, the South Bronx is a tough place. I mean, you can't even walk the streets without being shot at.
Is it the toughest borough in New York?
That part of the Bronx is, but there's very safe areas in the Bronx.
Now, there is one clip recently that was circulating around Josh that I do want to talk about in a little bit more detail. Mr. Based was reading chat during a live stream, and one of those people in chat basically said to Josh, you should, you know, maybe get a tattoo of your mum. And I think the response that Josh gives is one of the most, like, well-thought, constructed, intelligent responses he has ever gave. I'm just going to let the clip, like, play out for itself, because I think this is really important to see this, because it is Josh being an actual human, instead of, like, you know, opposed to being drunk, wandering around, listening to, you know, just the same 3 David Guetta songs over and over.
Gosh, you should get a tattoo in memory of your mom. Whoa, that's a good idea. You want a mom to tattoo?
No, thanks.
Think about that.
I don't want a tattoo of someone who died.
No, it's a tribute to the memory.
I know, but then I have to think about it all the time. I should save that for, you know, when I visit the graveyard.
Getting that tattoo?
Yeah. No, save thinking about it, you know, when I want to think about it.
All right, but a lot of people have a mom tattoo, and it's very sweet, you know?
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier, but Josh's mom died when he was really young, and it's just awful. It's an awful situation, and when I see clips like that as well, it really does, like, it humanizes Josh a lot, because a lot of people make fun of him. They think, oh, it's Lamau, the laugh out loud drunk, but there's obviously just a kid like behind all of that, you know? I think the thing that's really annoying about this is I recorded this entire video earlier today, and I gave a much more thought out, better response. I recorded this video for about 2 hours straight, like contemplating all my thoughts, and now those thoughts have gone because it's like 7 o'clock at night. It's not that late, but, like, you know, I'm a little bit exhausted now. Because when I recorded the video, my mic was muted more on moments, so I've had to do the entire video again. But I'm just trying to, like, you know, contemplate my thoughts of what I said earlier. But Josh he's obviously someone that is really being taken advantage of, and these clips of, like, him being genuine seem to be sprouting up more and more, like as a bit of a resurgence, a bit of a rebellion against the whole mainstream bit of making fun of Josh, and I think that's really good. And also as well, I think that clip in of itself is just evil, because you can tell, like, Mr. Based is just pushing Josh constantly. It's like, oh, why don't you want to get a tattoo? Why don't you want to get a tattoo, bro? Oh, you don't want to get a tattoo of your mum? Well, let's get a tattoo later. It's like Josh is unfortunately paired at the hip with someone so terminally content-brained that if Josh, like, fell over or collapsed in the street, Mr. Based would film that. But then it's hard to empathize with Josh in the general public's eye, because he does things like, for example, saying to this woman that she's going to get deported.
Stay in my country before I deport you.
You're amazing.
You're an illegal immigrant. You're not supposed to be here.
And then, you know, saying the hard R on stream.
Times.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Don't even.
Truly a 2017 Pyro moment. So it's very clear, like, I'm trying to give Josh an out, but he is not in the best headspace. And unfortunately, things only seem to be getting worse. So one night, Josh was attacked by a bunch of people, apparently with knives.
Go! Run! 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 Keep going!
Please. Do something. There's men after me.
No one's after you, Josh. You're good. You're good. Keep running.
And then he started to just completely freak out publicly. This included kicking the door of a random restaurant with a guy on the other side.
Fuck you!
And you can see in this clip as well, which is really disgusting, just how content-brained Mr. Based is.
They have knives! I can't afford a lawyer! What do I do?
I don't know. Here, maybe
Just
go
help
home,
him. Just help him, bro.
There's guys after me with knives! Help!
I have no idea who this random guy is, by the way, that pulled up with the wearing the cycling helmet or whatever, but he seems like an absolute saint, and honestly would probably do a better job taking care of Josh than Mr. Based is doing by a long shot.
Here, maybe
Just
go
help
home,
him. Just help him, bro.
There's guys after me with knives! Help!
Hey, you're okay. You're okay.
I only make $60K a year!
Come sit down over here for a second.
I'm gonna punch you out, too. Just like...
No, Josh is freaking out at this guy, you know, saying like how much money he makes, saying that he's going to sue him. And the guy's like, okay, I understand. I'm dealing with someone that's like, you know, learning impaired. He's probably drunk. I'm not going to engage. I'm just going to make sure that he's okay. And like, bless that. I have no idea who this guy is, but he is so dangerously based for that. And then, meanwhile, Mr. Based, the little worm, is in the background egging Josh on. When Josh is mentioning how much money he makes every year, Mr. Based then goes, yeah, he makes that much every year.
$60K a year!
Come sit down over here for a second.
He only makes $60K a year.
I have no idea who that guy is that like was near Josh, but you know, people like that need to be around Josh, not Mr. Based. By the way, I recorded this a little bit later. When I originally recorded this video, my mic was muted the entire time and I had a lot to say, like a little bit of tangents and stuff, and then I forgot them. So this is one that just came to mind in the original recording because I had to record this video basically twice in a row. I've noticed that Josh a lot, he bites himself, right? Like when he's out in public, when he gets stressed, he, you know, like bites himself a lot, like, you know, basically a form of self-harming as a way to cope. That is apparently common with people that are like, you know, neurodivergent and stuff. It's a way to kind of take out stress because they can't really properly put it out anywhere. I'll be honest, like, not to overshare, that's something I did when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old or something. You know, I had this stress, I didn't know where to take it out, so I bit myself a lot. I mean, thankfully, you know, I'm 27 years old, I don't do it anymore. But again, it just shows that Josh is just such a vulnerable person. It is so easy for him to be manipulated or taken advantage of. I don't know, I just saw that clip of him like biting himself in particular, and I did just think to myself, like, he's literally just a kid, man. Like, there are so many people like taking advantage of him in that city as well, like Mr. Based and all the people trolling him and shit. It's just sad. Like there's not really any commentary or anything I can add there. It just hurts like watching that shit. The next day though, they talk about the situation and what happened and why Josh was even jumped in the first place.
All right, here's the big question. What the fuck happened last night? What was that? Was that our craziest stream we ever
There were
had?
guys after me with knives.
So what people summarized and what they basically self-reported is Josh drank too much and then he said the N-word. Apparently though, Josh's cope was he meant to say it to the chat versus the guys.
You know why? Because you slipped out that word by accident.
I wasn't talking to them. I was talking to your live stream.
He then went on to claim that they didn't even like him and they lived paycheck to paycheck.
They just don't like me. I live paycheck to paycheck. I work on the front lines.
They tried to play it off that Josh had like a bunch of like stream sniper stalkers that were out to kill him, but in reality he got too much to drink, he said a slur around the wrong people, and then he basically had to run away. But in the same clip as well, when Josh runs away, you can see that the guy, whoever he said it to, is doing a countdown, right? You know, in a sense of like, get the fuck out of my face, I don't want to hear that, which is totally respectable. But then like Mr. Based joins in on the countdown saying like you need to run away to save your life. Like Mr. Based isn't breaking up the fight and being, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. No, Mr. Based is like just filming. He's filming like it's a fucking Black Mirror episode.
You got 10 seconds. Let's go. They're giving you time to leave with your life. Go. Go, Josh. Go. Run. Run!
Yeah, this mentally disabled guy kept saying the N-word out in public, and now someone wants to beat him up for it. Should I help him? Should I explain that he's got problems and, like, you know, get him to leave peacefully? Nah, I'll just film and say run away or you're gonna die. Josh also has these other weird copes as well to be able to excuse himself, like, for example, saying how he's only been to 9 countries and most people have been to 30 countries.
I've only been to 9 countries. Some people have been to 30.
And then not too long after that, Josh went to address the apparent Bronx claim that he's from the Bronx, not Brownsville.
Why does being from the Bronx make you better than Dom Bartucci?
Because the Bronx, the South Bronx is a tough place. I mean, you can't even walk the streets without being shot at.
Is it the toughest borough in New York?
That part of the Bronx is, but there's very safe areas in the Bronx.
Do you have any message for Bertucci? Like, if you had to say one thing to
Don
Don Bertucci.
Bertucci, my lawyer's gonna be contacting the FBI, and you're gonna be on the no-fly list soon.
So again, it's just a really sad situation because Josh is someone that, like, he needs to be in some kind of housing or something, man. Like, the guy cannot exist on his own. I'm amazed that he's able to travel country to country and not get into any altercations, any arguments. But it's so obvious that he surrounded himself with incredibly scummy people that love taking advantage of him and making as much money off him as possible. You know, so after they put the fries in the bag bit, which went viral, it was shared everywhere, a lot of trolls started using that as a bit. You know, Josh is sat on the end of the stairs after what I suppose to be a stream, and someone is sat in their car filming him saying, put the fries in the bag.
Let's put the fries in the bag.
I'll sue you! You fucking bitch! You're taking advantage of the middle class!
Just put the fries in the bag.
And you can see Josh is getting more and more angry. They're trying to rile him up. Eventually, he storms down the street, but look at the clip again. Look what Mr. Bass does. He tries to calm down Josh, and then when he realizes he can't, instead of actually trying to intervene more, maybe go over to the guys and say, you know, fuck off, leave him alone. Instead, what does he do? He goes on his phone to pull it out and start recording everything. I just don't understand, like, how Mr. Bass is not getting more hate. I really don't understand it. I mean, the worst thing is as well, some people have actually tried to confront Mr. Bass. I mean, Alex Novell, who I talked about earlier, tried to confront him. You've had other people as well. Like there was a Sneeko fan that went up to him, and that was, I already talked about this. It's cringe even talking about it because it basically is the equivalent of having an argument with yourself in the shower and winning the argument.
Can you put the, Oh, yeah. Hold on one second.
So this is probably one of Josh's worst documented outbursts. So after they put the fries in the bag, he runs down the street screaming, which is something he does a lot. But then he goes around and starts kicking people. He kicks this woman, then runs away. I think, thankfully, the woman didn't seem to be injured. She was more, like, perplexed, if anything.
Did he just kick you?
He kicked my girlfriend.
I'm so sorry. Josh, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And then he goes around kicking more people. And then he starts kicking cars and climbing on the roofs of cars.
Damaging his car!
Whose car? Why the fuck would you do that?
Because of what he said!
What did he say? Put the fries in the bag?
Ow!
To the point that Mr. Bass basically says, okay, Josh, like, we're done. You need to go back to your grandparents.
Josh, you're taking a week off.
No!
Yes!
Please!
Yes!
No.
Yes!
No.
Now, would Mr. Bass do that? Would he do something so dangerously base that Josh is actually being put away, you know, like away from content? He actually gets to have a little bit of a break? No, of course not. Of course he wouldn't do that. It's his cash cow. The guy's making like 5K off TTS per stream with him. So here begins Josh's sober arc. Basically, they tried to convince the community that Josh is going sober now. Is it happening? No, of course it's not happening. They did some things to try and bait the community. They did like a breathalyzer with Josh and it showed like 0% BAC. And you know what? For 24 hours, I was fooled. I thought this would be like an intervention, but then Mr. Bass probably kind of realized, wait. When Josh is sober, he doesn't scream, and screaming is what gets the clips and the TTSs. That sucks. Now, am I saying that Mr. Bass is plying Josh with alcohol constantly? No, but I feel like if he's his manager, he should actually try to take a better stance and make sure that Josh is okay on his own. Because no joke, less than 24 hours later, there was a post made on the World of T-Shirts subreddit of Josh being drunk, lashing out at people.
I only make $5,000 a month! I don't get paid after this shit! Fuck you! Fuck you! I work every day on the front line!
Now, also, if you go onto Josh's actual TikTok page, you can see that on the nights that he posted himself drinking like 5 to 6 drinks, he's also wearing the exact same shirt. Now, another brave statement incoming, trademark, copyrighted, but Josh needs help. He needs help. Mr. Bass is obviously just going to run this guy into an early grave. And again, like I said, when I covered these videos initially, it was, haha, Lamau, that's so funny. He got drunk in public, but no, it's sad. It's really sad. It's someone who's like learning disabled. People take advantage of him constantly, either for content, or, you know, thinking that they're helping and they're not really, because they don't know how to help, that they're really trying their best. I mean, I mentioned this a couple of videos ago, but I wanted to go to New York and like almost like, you know, talk to the guy and see, like, maybe set up an interview. But then it's like, I've seen people do this before. I've seen people approach him in the street and they're so nice and they're so respectful, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care, and it's so difficult to help someone that can't help themselves. So it's almost like at this point, Josh needs some kind of like forced rehabilitation or something, because at the minute, it just seems to be completely out of control. I mean, maybe he's drinking less, maybe he's not having spirits, maybe he's having beers and twisted teas that are like 4 and 5%, but like, if he's still lashing out and stuff in public from trolls, that's not going to go away. He has this aura now because of Mr. Based. I was gonna like end the video with like a joke or something, but again, it's like, what the fuck can you say? Like, the situation sucks. It really does suck. Like, I keep monitoring it, hoping there's like a revelation or like a huge shift, but again, it's one of those car crashes that people will just keep watching and keep documenting. I mean, I follow Josh on TikTok, and whenever, like, you know, I go take a piss or something and I open that godforsaken app, like, I'll see occasionally like a TikTok of him usually drinking or something, and then, you know, maybe going out, but he just needs help, man. I mean, I'll be honest, like, after the posts that he made about his mom that I found on stream, and then as well him talking about getting the tattoo of his mom, that he doesn't want the constant reminder.
You want a mom tattoo?
No, thanks.
No, it's a tribute to the memory.
I know, but then I have to think about it all the time.
It's almost like he drinks to kind of like possibly, you know, remove that himself, because on stream multiple times he has brought up, like, why do some people have a mom? Why did I lose my mom so early? It's clearly something that it's in his mind a lot, and he questions probably every day, why do you have a mom? That's not fair. I lost mine at such a young age. And I think clips like that really do help humanize Josh and make me realize, like, it's fucked. Because if Josh dies, if something happened to him, right, the same people that have been mocking him for 2 years straight be the same people being like, you're a monster. How could you do that? I never would have done that. You know, everyone like Spider-Man meme, everyone pointing fingers at each other. So, you know, I really hope he gets the help that he needs, man. I really do, because it's such an awful situation.